excited. So we are talking about very, very exciting topic about biohacking. And Shayna Melissa Stockman is with us. She's holistic healer, board certified nurse practitioner, and biohack NP. I'm so happy to have you today, Melissa. Thank you for coming here.
I'm so happy to be here. Thank you for having me and back again. Thank you.
Yes, you're back again. As you remember, if you saw us before, she promised to come back and talk about biohacking. So, Melissa, tell me about yourself first. How did you become a nurse? Then how did you become holistic healer? And go about your
Sure.
story first. Yes.
In hindsight, I think it started with my grandma. My grandma raised me, God rest her soul, and she was always into alternatives. My grandpa was a pharmacist, and I remember when I was little, she would take her diuretic, her water pill with a banana. And nowadays, you would take a potassium supplement. So she would take the water pill, the diuretic, take a banana. And then to keep her blood pressure fine, she would take a low salt diet and instead of medications. And she loved helping people. And I was so inspired by her. I wanted to help people. I had a scholarship, New York State Region scholarship in high school. And I'm like, I don't know if I want to go into nursing. So the scholarship had budgetary cuts. So the payout was zero. And then I had a nurse so impact my life and befriend me. And that was kind of an aha moment. I was like, wait, maybe this is my calling. I love helping people. She'll never know truly how much she impacted my life. And I will impact others who will impact others. And this massive rippling effect. So I was like, wow, this is my calling. So I went into nursing. And hence 30 years later, here I am.
Okay, what about the holistic healer?
Oh, okay, great. So that was my first real instance came about. People look at holistic as more a natural approach, but to me, holistic also means whole entire body, mind, spirit, and the cellular level. A lot of times medication is a piece of tape on a garden hose. It's good for now. It's controlling the symptoms temporarily, but it's just masking the symptoms until they explode. It's not getting at the root cause. I love getting at the root cause. The first example was my grandma. I had moved out, during nursing school, and I had seen she had started to deteriorate. So I moved back. We moved back in together. And at this point, she wasn't walking. And I literally back then carried her into the doctor. It's not like you had insurance and you had a wheelchair sent to you for pre-auth. And the doctors really kind of left me hopeless with her. And I said, I have to get to the cause. If I find the cause, I can find the solution. I can reverse the disorder and get her walking again. And now at this point, she looked up to me and she's like, you'll ever think I'll walk again? I'm a brand new grad RN at this time in 1993. I'm like, oh my God, this is so much on my shoulders. Healthcare proxy, living will. This was not discussed back then. So I said, if I get to the cause, I'll find the solution. I can reverse the disorder. That's exactly what I did. I gave her the belief, the mindset that she could do it. We took consistent daily action. Not only did she walk again at 79 years old, but she walked again then without my assistance, without a walker, without a cane. And that's the first real aha moment that nowadays they call it functional medicine. I'm sorry, there was no functional medicine school 30 years ago. So I was truly doing it before they had even the universities for it.
Wow, so that's amazing. So, so what kind of holistic medicine you're doing?
Sure. And it's so odd that they call it holistic medicine, because a lot of what I do is natural and not prescriptions, not synthetic pharmaceuticals. So when I look at holistic approach, it's body, mind, spirit. You have to have the mindset as well. And look at the cells, the cellular level of the body as well. But I also merge all different multiple aspects. I do more alternative. Integrative medicine is basically, as you know, for those listeners that might not, it's integrating Eastern, more natural, holistic approach with Western new, medications if needed. So I use a holistic approach with truly integrative medicine, if you will. But most of the time I use more naturopathic, which is more natural occurring plants and herbs. So I kind of merge functional medicine, which is getting at the root cause of the disorder. I merge holistic treating body, mind, spirit, cellular level with a more naturopathic approach of natural. And I find that fusing them, or integrative medicine as they call it now, is more of a synergistic result. Why most providers do just Western medications or just alternatives. And I truly look at the individual client or patient and do what's best for that individual. And there's good in both worlds. Sometimes we need medicine, and a lot of times we don't.
So tell me about your biohacking technique. I know first,
Sure.
Explain what is biohacking, because it looks very
Sure.
exciting word.
Well,
and tell me, what do you do with biohacking?
It is so changed my life that I am forever grateful. And I wish we could just dump it in everyone's water, throw it in the air, and have everyone breathe it. For me personally, let me just step back for a moment. I was literally in organ failure, heart failure, and the doctors overdosed me, and the specialist left me hopeless. Now, when you go to a specialist and they have one body part or one organ to do, you would think they would know best. So when the specialist doesn't know what to do with you, that was very frustrating for me. And here, try this, here, try that medicine. I felt like a guinea pig, not try this, try that. And I felt a lot of times medicines just temporarily subside the symptoms, but a lot of times they lead to more medicine. So for me, a lot of the meds make you heavier. So then my sugars were going high, diabetic range. They want to stick you on diabetes meds. Then my blood pressure went high. Then the anti-inflammatories with food created ulcers. And one med led to more meds, which led to more meds for the other meds. And I did not want that anymore. And I was totally left hopeless by the specialist. I knew we could send men to the moon, and even non-astronauts nowadays with Bronson, I believe, and there had to be a better way. So I did a lot of research. I've been searching for decades now, and it was introduced to me by a professional athlete. His doctor told him, you have to reduce your oxidative stress before you ever get in an injury. You'll heal quicker and recuperate. So biohacking is like hijacking a plane is taking control of the plane. Biohacking is taking control of your own biology. We used to believe years ago we're just stuck with our genetics. And sometimes we can change if that gene is expressed or not. For instance, my grandma with diabetes, all her siblings had diabetes. She ate right, stayed skinny, watched the sugar intake, never developed diabetes. So even though you have the genetic component, you can control a lot of times if that gene is expressed or not. So biohacking is taking control of your own biology through nutrients. It could be through nutrigenomics, which is nutrients you ingest and how that affects your health and your well-being. And it could also be through diet, exercise, and other things as well.
Yeah, it's very similar to functional medicine, as you said. Because
yes, we're getting at the root cause. People don't realize 9 of the top 10 leading causes of death in the United States are linked to oxidative stress or free radical damage, or what's AKA known as inflammation. 9 of the top 10 leading causes of death are linked to oxidative stress. Why don't we try to target oxidative stress? That's linked to them. So that's exactly what I do, is I help people activate pathways and genes in their body to produce things they used to when they were younger, before they had these problems. I mean, it's such a new concept to attack the root cause. We can cut that. People think antioxidants are good. They don't realize most of the time you don't absorb them. You pee and urinate them out. And even when you do, like fruits and vegetables, there's insecticides and pesticides. Sometimes you're getting more carcinogens than the antioxidant. And then you're microwaving it. There's not much nutrients left. And then you cook it. So a lot of times I discovered, not my discovery, but through my research, that there's a pathway and a gene in our body that we can activate and make our bodies create its own antioxidants, which literally is 1,000,000 times more potent than an antioxidant we can ingest in a fruit and vegetable. When we ingest a fruit and a vegetable, one antioxidant, one good soldier can only fight one bad free radical when we ingest an antioxidant. But when we make our own antioxidants like superoxide dismutase, one molecule of that can fight and neutralize 1,000,000 free radicals. 1 to 1,000,000 versus 1 to 1 when we take a fruit or vegetable or a vitamin.
How can we build it? How can we make it?
Yes. Well, through certain proprietary blends, little herbs in caplets, capsules, or drinks, we can actually activate this NRF2 pathway in our bodies. And what that does is that makes our body produce more SOD, superoxide dismutase, and one molecule of that neutralizes 1,000,000 of the bad free radicals a second versus a vitamin is 1 to 1 ratio. And then it also increases something called glutathione, which is so powerful. Glutathione, when you make it, it is so much more powerful than in synthetic that you a lot of times can't absorb. And people need to realize when you make your body create its own antioxidants, its own glutathione, so much more potent than synthetics. Our bodies can't absorb that. They're not used to it. So I activate different pathways to do different things. Another pathway I like to talk about, what happens is over the years, people don't realize we're living to be like 100 nowadays. 100 years ago, we were living to be 50. So we have 50 extra years of toxins accumulating in our lifetime. And since the Industrial Revolution, there's over 85,000 chemicals now that are introduced into the environment, that these are toxins that were not around with our ancestors. So our bodies are accumulating toxins at a quicker rate than we can get rid of them between trains, planes, automobiles, microwaves, cell phones. So these toxins accumulate in our body, and toxin accumulation becomes toxic, like poisonous. That's not a good thing. But the problem is, over our lifetime, our little sirtuins are our little garbage men that autophage the toxins from our body. They get tired and lazy from being bombarded daily with all of these toxins, and for so many more years, that they're just getting like lazy garbage men and just not taking out the garbage like some of our men at home, right? They just get tired of doing it. So another pathway I activate, the NRF1 pathway, the NAD pathway, will actually wake up those sirtuins, those garbage men, and let them be recycled, that they can detoxify the cells before they become toxic so that we could absorb the nutrients that we need to. It's like that sponge is so full of toxins, it can't absorb the nutrients. Yeah. So different pathways. I activate a third pathway as well. This is interesting. You'll be glad. You might not know this, and most people might not. With COVID, I try to stay clear of talking about it for multiple reasons. It's controversial, like politics and religion. However, there's one study in Europe, in Germany, that showed 76% of adults that were exposed and had the COVID were left with permanent heart damage similar to a heart attack. And what people don't realize is the COVID goes into the mitochondria of the cells, the energy stations. It replicates and makes copies, and then it destroys the energy station of the cells, and that kills the cell. And the reason it's attacking the heart is, out of all our organs that have mitochondria, the heart has the most because it's working 24/7. It needs that energy to pump the heart. So the heart has the most mitochondria, and the COVID replicates in the mitochondria, destroys the cells, which is destroying heart muscle tissue. And that's not a good thing. So when I activate the NRF1 pathway, that makes my body produce more healthy mitochondria. Without them, the cells die. So even if COVID's attacking my body and killing my cells and my mitochondria and destroying my cells, I can activate the NRF1 pathway to actually let my body produce more healthy mitochondria.
Wow, amazing.
So, yeah.
So mitochondria actually is energy, as you said. That's
yes.
That's why acupuncture also helps.
Yes.
Yeah, because there are lots of, I have clients with the fertility problem, and the first thing I see, they have like cold feet and hands. And this is one of the signs that you have less energy. So that's why you have to activate your energy through
Yes.
acupuncture or biohacking and
Yes,
get
or both.
more.
Both. They can do
Yeah,
synergistic results. And yes, we need mitochondria. With people don't realize without the mitochondria of the cells die. They cannot live. Like with us, without energy, we just don't function good. We're not efficient. We're not proficient. I don't know about you, how you function at 3 a.m. after you haven't slept in 2 days and you're still working, correct? So that's like our bodies. People need to treat our bodies like a temple and realize it's very hard to get replacement parts. They maintain
exactly.
their car and they can easily buy another car, but yet sometimes they don't maintain their own body.
I like that, yes. So we have a few second break and we come back again. Please subscribe to Panta Calhoun Transition channel and order my book Naturally Conceived through Amazon. Thank you for watching. All right, Shayna, Melissa, tell me more about how we can increase our energy and how we can actually prevent wasting our energy.
Yes. Oh, that's a good question. Of course, we're more efficient when we sleep. So it is important to get a sufficient amount of sleep each night. If you guys are running on fumes, it's going to take you twice as long to get things done. So sometimes that sleep is definitely needed. I like to conserve energy, try to be proficient and efficient. But as we were saying, the mitochondria, when you activate the NRF1 pathway, you create more mitochondria, and mitochondria produce ATP, which is cellular energy. It's like the gasoline or the fuel for the cells. So it's very important to activate pathways like that. And, I just think there are a lot of disorders are linked to toxin accumulation, oxidative stress, inflammation, and low numbers of mitochondria. So why not activate those pathways? Oh, other ways too is right here what I drink. It's very important for the nervous system to get B6s and B12s. That's one thing. Most foods do not have enough B6s, B12s, and most of the time when you ingest it, your stomach acids kill it off and you really don't absorb it. So, and people don't realize, they might say, oh, I take a B12 shot once in a while, but B6 is very important for the nervous system as well. And things like DMAE, quercetin, great brain food, energy for the brain we need.
Yeah, so many supplements, right?
Yeah.
But we need to get supplements anyways because our body needs it, and not everything we can find in fruits or meat or other vegetables. So I know you have some program. You have two websites here. What I see, biohacknp.com. Is this your website for biohacking? And what do you do there? Do you have consultation? Do you have any freebies for my audience?
Yes. Oh God. Yes, we have those as well. Biohack NP is more about me as the nurse practitioner, the holistic healer, what some of my clients have said. Like you guys will see their testimonials. I have a lot of clients that were left hopeless by the specialists like me. And that's one of my missions, is to help millions of them that were left hopeless, to show them there's another way. There is a way to get better, to get at the root cause, to reverse. When you get at the root cause, you can reverse disorder and rid symptoms instead of medication or come off meds. And I have a lot of clients use the alternatives to instead of meds or to come off meds. Some come off some meds, some come off all the meds. And a lot of them were like, how come my doctor didn't tell me about this? Well, what they don't realize is biohacking is a newer technology. And a lot of the doctors graduated school before this technology was more well known. So then when they go back to their doctors are like calling me now, like, oh my God, I need to know more. And it's great. I love talking to the specialists and the doctors and educating them, because then they can each individually impact thousands more lives. Sorry, we got off the topic a little bit. So Biohack NP, they can see more about the wellness. And if they go to, and they can book a consult there as well. But Overcoming Life Obstacles website is a little bit better right now because it's a little more updated. It has the book information as well as the biohacking. And when they go to, we didn't even talk about that, the #1 international bestseller new release book that I came out with, Overcoming Life Obstacles. If they go to that website, overcominglifeobstacles.com, they can see both information, the wellness and the book. The wellness information, they can book a free 15-minute consult. And the other freebies we have up there is the natural, nutritious, and delicious energizing drink with no crashes. They can get free samples of that with limited supplies while they last. And this Wednesday evening, I will be talking for more about the biohacking in depth, but it's also good for the beginner, like a biohacking 101, what free radicals are, what oxidative stress is, what it does to our bodies, how we could eliminate it. So if they go to Overcoming Life Obstacles, they can get the book, a personalized signed copy. They can buy bulk orders. A lot of people are buying 50 to 200 of them. They can book a free 15-minute consult right there on the main page. They can get the free energizing, nutritious, and delicious energy drinks. They can also go to Biohack NP on Facebook or Instagram for my Wednesday night link. I will try to post it on my personal Facebook page as well. And I'm not sure what else, but I'm just super excited. Oh, I have a couple more good, quick stories. I just got blood work today on someone who was Hashimoto's thyroid. TSH was abnormal, underactive. Their inflammatory markers were through the roof. Since they're biohacking, their thyroid function is now normal without medication. Their inflammation markers are now normal. SED rate, CPK, C-reactive protein, normal, and were very, very high in the past. So, I mean, that's without medications. Oh, and even their cholesterol was through the roof and is now within normal range. And then I have another just discovered success story. One of my dear clients was stage 4 metastatic breast cancer, told incurable. And then she started telling me her tumor shrank. Then it was no longer in her blood. Then she was in partial remission because I am working with her oncologist as well. Now she is in full remission from stage 4 metastatic breast cancer, incurable. And her oncologist is even like baffled, like, oh my God, I need to talk to her. That's
wow, that's amazing. What you're doing,
I know.
Amazing, yes.
I love hearing all these success stories.
Yeah, that's a great feeling when you see somebody is no longer suffering from cancer or any chronic disease. And that's my mission as well, just bringing this awareness. If you are suffering with chronic disease, there are other ways to find the root cause of the issue. Yes. Yeah, it's so easy to suppress the symptoms, right? Just having medication, because of course it gives you temporary relief,
yes,
but it's not enough because you want to be happy all the time. You
exactly.
Want to be healed.
It's right? Like when a lot of people go to the doctor and like, hey, doc, I'm in pain. Can you give me something? They go on pain pills. They don't realize the pain pill is just masking the symptom, but it's not getting at the cause. The problem's still there. They're just a little numb for a little while. But the problem, the underlying problem, is still getting worse and bigger and bigger and bigger. And that's an important thing. We have to get at the root cause. The root cause a lot of time is oxidative stress, which is known to the layman person as inflammation. Inflammation's never good. I help reduce that in nearly half. There's nothing else proven other than what I do to reduce this oxidative stress or inflammation in practically half. Scientifically proven in living humans. I mean, that's the root cause of a lot of problems, oxidative stress and inflammation, right? They say the doctors give them an anti-inflammatory. It's okay for the time being, but it's not really solving the problem.
In fact, with biohacking, we are trying to get back to our normal. Even if we are genetically diagnosed with some disease, still we can reverse it, right?
Yes, yes.
I know a lot of families in their history, they have diabetes, like the grandma.
Yes.
And then, but do you think that with biohacking we can reverse?
Yes, I've proven that. I'll give you a clinical case study real quick. I had a man come in for a cough. He was about 300 pounds. First time I ever met him, his blood pressure was high. I checked his sugar. He was fasting. It was high. He's like, oh, it's just family history, my mom and dad. And after taking more in-depth information, it was the way the mom was cooking and teaching him to eat and the sedentary lifestyle that he learned that led to the obesity, and the obesity led to the diabetes and the hypertension. And once I made him realize that, I said, listen, you're looking at insulin shots and blood pressure pills. Unless you drop this weight, I will help you. When I empowered him that, oh my God, I can change this, really, it's not just genetic. He dropped 100 pounds with biohacking. His blood pressure is now normal. He has no more hypertension, no more diabetes. His knee pain went away, and he has more energy because he's not dragging around 100 pounds. So yes, we definitely could reverse disorder. That's proven. And biohacking, that's just one example.
That's a great news, because there are lots of people in this world that they actually accept the fact that that's in genetics and they cannot change it. That should be there. The only way is getting the shot and having the medication. And that's not true. So if you may be prone to this disease, but there are a lot of ways you can reverse it. Like even with the PTSD, like you see generational PTSD, transgenerational PTSD, from one generation to another, you get it. But there are a lot of ways you can actually reverse it and get back to normal and empower yourself. But if you accept it as a fact, that's the problem. Then you got to label yourself as a diabetic person and PTSD.
Yes, I know you specialize in PTSD, and that's one of your specialties. And people don't realize it's like this. If you go to a healthcare professional, I'll never say don't listen to your doctor. But if you're going to any healthcare professional, I don't care if it's a doctor, an NP, a PA, and they're not doing their job to get you healthier, and you're still getting worse, you need to either get a second opinion or look for alternatives. And it's a lot of times the older generation was more likely to just, the specialist knows what's best for me and that's it. But not always. Look at me. I was in heart failure. I was not accepting that. I'm like, listen, I know what the cause is. I know what the solution is. And I fired my doctor. I fired a couple of them. I found someone that would listen to me, and he's like, you're right, and this will help you. And that's what we did. So it's important to, like anything, if you hire a contractor and they're not doing your roof right, you fire them. So if your healthcare provider is not making you healthier, you need to fire them. I fired my healthcare providers, and now I'm healthy.
Remember, there are a lot of medical doctors that are very smart. And they go to the root cause of issue, and they dig into your symptoms. They don't just cure the symptoms. I know a lot of them. But some of them, they just try to treat the paper. So they do the blood work. Okay, hormone injection. Let's just go to normal with hormone injection. You have less thyroid. Okay, let's have more injection, and your thyroid is a good level, but it's not. Because what about the root cause? What caused these thyroid issues? So that's the problem. And I really congratulate all the doctors who work and very hard. They go deeply inside the patient's stories, see what's happening. But sometimes, like, I get very disappointed, especially
I agree.
Fertility part, because it's so easy to tell a woman that you're not going to get pregnant, or you are diagnosed with unexplained infertility. It's so easy. You don't know what you do with this, what you do to them with this news. This is not
I know fair. That's your other area of expertise.
Exactly, yeah. And so that's what I'm saying. If you are having this problem, chronic disease, any kind of like diabetes or any kind of asthma, anything that really you suffer, and they actually prescribe the medicine for years and you're not healed yet. So
Yes.
you have to find a healing opportunity by
I
going to
have I
wisdom.
have one more quick example. I have a 70-year-old man diagnosed COPD, never smoked. I believe it was his Agent Orange exposure from the war. Was on all these inhalers since he couldn't breathe. He was anxious all the time. He was exhausted because he couldn't sleep. So he was depressed. Since he's activating his body, he is off all his medications, all his inhalers, and said he hasn't felt this good in decades because we got at the root cause, the inflammation, the oxidative stress, the toxins, detoxifying those cells. I mean, it's so important. And people, they need to understand that I also work in a lot in conjunction with regular doctors as well. So if somebody is interested, I'm not saying just do what I do. I can collaborate with your physician or your nurse practitioner or your PA. And a lot of times I enlighten them. So they can use Western medicine and Eastern. They can use that and the activation as well.
Yeah, beautiful. Thank you so much, Shayna, Melissa. I really enjoyed talking to you, and I wish you a lot of luck. If you want to get her book, overcominglifeobstacles.com, go and take it. She's gonna have the second version of this book. So
yes,
yeah, she's gonna need more contributors. If you want to be there, yeah, go ahead.
Yes, if they go to Overcoming Life Obstacles, they can get the free energizing drink, the 15-minute consult. They can also drop in there that they'd like to contribute to the next book. It also builds the bridge to their business as well. So a lot of the authors have gotten a lot more business of it because they've gotten a lot more exposure and people know exactly what they do. And I'd love to hear more Overcoming Life Obstacles story, because I find everybody, instead of learning from their own mistakes, we can be, instead of smart, we can be wise and learn from the smart people's mistakes. So they don't have to take the road less traveled. They can look, each of our authors got a little mini chapter, a little bit about an obstacle they've come, but more how they overcame it. So the reader can realize they're not alone and be empowered with the tools they need and the knowledge to also overcome, but at an expedited pace, because now they've learned, say, my friend was divorced 3 times and they're going through a divorce. They're like, oh, wait, this is the pro. Let me read her tips, So there's great stories in here, everything from cancers, malignancies. Actually, that story about the stage 4 cancer survivor, her story's in here as well, and her tips on how she overcame.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Melissa.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, we can have each other again and use your information, can share this valuable information again. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you. Be well, stay safe.